and making a world team is, will be a unique experience in its own. So I'm super excited for that.
How much confidence did you gain out of the American record run that you had over in Scandinavia?
Quite a bit. That race, running that pace and setting the record there, I knew that when I came here I could hold on to whatever pace I were going to run. So that was like a good fitness checkpoint that I knew that I wasn't going to get dropped if I was in that fitness here. So
you just turned 23. Did you think you'd be winning a national title this early in your career?
No, I didn't think that, but it's pretty exciting. It sets the standard.
What do you think is your best event between the 5K and 10K?
I would say the 5K, but I don't really know. Today was a very good 10K, although it was slow for most of it. So I'd like to see how I do in a race that's maybe like how Paris was this past summer, a fast 10K championship style.
Does beating Grant, an Olympic medalist last year, does that tell you, hey, that might be something I could do this year?
Definitely, yeah. I've got a lot of confidence going into Worlds and I possibly could medal, so.
Did you ever consider just going like all in on the 5K at USA's, given the double, there's only 2 days in between here this week?
Yeah, I did consider that. For a little while I was planning on just running the 5K, but having the standard in both events I think is a tough thing to come by, it seems, so having the standard in both, I wanted to run both, and honestly sometimes I've run better after already having run an event, so I'm thinking maybe I'll even feel better in the 5K having run the 10K, so I was like, it's really not much of a risk in doing both. That's my logic.
Have you done a double like this before?
I would compare this to last year at NCAA indoor meet, having run the 5K and the 3K there, and then the next weekend running the sound run 10K. I think I felt better in the 10K there, having run the 5 and the 3 the week prior. So.
Did you have goals in mind, like time goals or accomplishment goals, like at the start of the year? Did you have a list in your mind?
Not really. I didn't really know what to expect from this season. I didn't know I was going to get into the Diamond Leagues that I got into, so those were kind of like I had no idea what was going to happen there, so after I got into those meets then I kind of started to make a plan, but I really didn't know what was going to happen towards the end of the season. So
yeah. What was that like, going from sort of not totally sure what your aims are to then you win that Diamond League suddenly? That I'm sure the expectations raised. What was it like for you to go through that?
Yeah, I didn't expect to win that race. That was I took a risk, and I like 200 meters to go. That definitely gave me a lot of confidence following that. Having won the Philly Grand Slam before gave me confidence in my kick, but then kicking off an already fast pace and Oslo was a whole other thing. So.
I'm sure not having classes, just being able to focus 100% on running has helped you this year. Is there anything else you think has helped you make this leap to the level you're at now from last year?
Yeah, definitely no school has helped a lot. I'd say not having to run my college conference meet, I'm sure has helped me a little bit. Last year at the outdoor meet, I raced 2 800s, 2 1500s, and a 5K. It was really fun. It was fantastic, but it's hard to do that and then come back around for the USA meet. Although it worked out, but that definitely, I'd say that was the biggest thing this year. I also got down to a sea-level camp in Scottsdale in the winter. I think that helps too. Although that's when I got attacked by a dog, so that was I don't know if that was as great as it could have been.
Yeah. Did you look up to Grant when you were coming up as a younger runner?
Definitely, yeah. I remember he was on my Stanford visit when I visited Stanford my junior year of high school, and he was very good then and has continued to be very good. So he's definitely been the guy in the United States to look up to here. Absolutely.
Is this the first time you've beaten him?
Probably, I think so. Yeah.
What does it mean to outkick him, to beat him for the national title?
It means I can win more of these. That's for sure. It means he's at such a high level and he's medaled twice, so that definitely pays respect to the level that I'm at now. And then also Graham, who was really close in that race to U.S. distance running, I think is at a whole new level this year. So I think he sets the bar, and now it's time to go to the World Championships and see if we can get maybe more than one U.S. medal. Would be awesome.
Yeah. How cool is it to be saying that that's a realistic thing?
It's pretty incredible. It's crazy.
Do you think the event, is kind of open right now because Cheptegei's won the last few in the 10,000. He's not running. He's doing a full marathon. So, like, who do you view as your biggest competitors?
I don't know. I mean, I think Oslo had a lot of the best guys in the world in it, maybe minus like 5 or 6 guys. I think, you know, this is it here, and then those guys at the front of that race. So I think it's pretty wide open.
Yeah.
I would say. Honestly, I really don't know in general, but I think it's pretty. I haven't raced those guys many times, but I'd be excited to see how we do against these other countries who have medaled in past years.
I mean, do you think winning is that on the table for you at Worlds? You think?
I would say so. I mean, I'm going to try to. So we'll see.
If Tokyo's a hot race, do you feel like the heat's something that you're okay with?
Yeah. I'd say generally I'm not a huge fan of the heat, but you know, I do the best that I can in any situation that I'm in. And today we were lucky that the weather wasn't too bad. But you know, I plan to go to heat train at a camp where there's going to be a lot of humidity before Tokyo, so hopefully that gets me prepared for what the humidity will be like there.
Where's the camp?
I'm not sure yet. I heard people are going to Hawaii, but I have no idea where we'll happen. So.
I remember a couple years ago, NCAA indoors, I think, when it was in Albuquerque, you and Drew were kind of pushing the pace in that race because you guys didn't really have the kick against some of the guys in the NCAA. And now it seems like you've taken that weakness and turned it into a strength. How did you do that?
Yeah. I don't know. I think like developing that kick has over the past 2 years has been something that I've really been working on. So it's cool to see that kind of come to fruition in all these races, and kind of I've been able to have access to that in pretty much all these races that I've run. Drew as well has been coming along for him too. So I think, you know, the way that we train at altitude and the aerobic side that we have is pretty much taken care of. So developing that kick is kind of the next step, and kind of was the last step in my development, seemingly.
But what do you do to develop it, like in practice?
I do a lot of speed endurance work really helps me with that. A lot of workouts and things that focus on sprint mechanics. So I focus a lot on how my body is moving when I work out, as well as easy runs, and making sure that that's moving right, and when that's moving right, then I know that I'm going to be able to close forward a race. So I do a lot of speed work pretty much every week, even in my base phase. So.
Do you still do 30-40 trail?
Some stuff similar to that. Not that exactly. I'd love to do that again. That could be cool. But I have done some stuff where it's like a fast lap, slower lap, faster lap, that kind of thing. So a lot of these races are like that. So.
When you take a look back and reflect, and I don't know if you really get to do that this often in the sport, like, are you proud with how this season has been run, how the season has gone, taking on all of these larger meets and winning? Or how does that reflection sort of come about?
Yeah, could you ask that again?
No, I think the question is, like, I know we talk about what happens in the future and that sort of thing. Like, how do you feel now in this moment winning? Like, is that catharsis in some way? Like, having won, hit these major goals of yours?
Yeah, I would say so. It definitely gives me the confidence going forward, knowing that I'm always going to be a contender for that. So absolutely.